Welcome to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe it and press the bell icon. When we talk about morningwood, many men laugh it off or think of it as just a quirky part of being male. But in reality, it's one of the strongest indicators of overall health. Morning erections, or what doctors call nocturnal penile aren't random at all. They're actually your body's way of showing that your blood flow, your nerves, and your hormones are all in sync and working the way they should. When you wake up in the morning with an erection, it's not just a sign of sexual readiness. It's a sign that your cardiovascular system is pumping efficiently, that your testosterone levels are at healthy ranges, and that your nervous system is firing on all cylinders. In fact, for younger men, this happens multiple times during the night during REM sleep cycles, and it's the body's natural process of keeping the tissue healthy and oxygenated. Now, when that starts to disappear or become less frequent, it's not just about missing a part of your masculinity. It's really about your body signaling that something deeper may be going on. Think about it this way: if your morning erections are strong and consistent, that usually means your arteries are open, flexible, and delivering blood where it needs to go. But if they start to fade, it could mean those same arteries are beginning to narrow or stiffen, which doesn't just affect your sexual health. It could affect your heart and brain as well. Doctors often say that erectile health is like a window into vascular health, and the morning erection is the clearest, most natural checkup you get every day without stepping into a clinic. Hormones play a big role too. Testosterone, the male hormone responsible for energy, strength, mood, and yes, sexual function, peaks in the early morning hours. That's why your body is most likely to produce morning wood at that time. As men age, testosterone naturally declines, and with it, the frequency and quality of these erections can diminish. But it's not just about aging, it's about how we live, what we eat, how we sleep, and how much stress we carry. All of these factors contribute to whether your body can still perform this natural automatic function. So, if you've noticed that morning wood isn't showing up like it used to, don't dismiss it. It's not just a small detail, it's a powerful sign your body is giving you, and paying attention to it could be the first step toward protecting not only your sexual health, but your overall health too. As men get older, one of the first changes they begin to notice is that morning wood doesn't show up as often as it once did. This isn't something that happens overnight. It's usually a gradual process. One of the main reasons behind this is the natural decline in testosterone, which starts in the early 30s and continues steadily throughout life. Testosterone isn't just about sex drive. It's the hormone that fuels energy, motivation, muscle strength, and importantly, the ability to have strong and consistent erections. When levels drop, morning erections often become weaker or less frequent, and that's the body's way of letting you know that hormone balance is shifting. But hormones are only part of the story. Blood flow is another critical factor. Erections depend on healthy circulation, and the body produces a molecule called nitric oxide that relaxes blood vessels, allowing more blood to flow into the penis. As you age, your body's ability to produce nitric oxide declines, making it harder for erections to form and stay strong. Combine this with arteries that naturally stiffen over time, and you can see why morning wood starts to fade. It's not just about sexual performance, it's about vascular health. And that's why the loss of morning erections can be an early sign of heart disease or other circulation problems. Lifestyle plays a huge role too. If you're not sleeping well, if stress is high, or if alcohol and smoking are part of your daily routine, the body pays the price. Sleep is when testosterone gets replenished and when the body enters those deep REM cycles where most nocturnal erections happen. Take that away, and you're robbing yourself of both recovery and sexual health. Poor diet and lack of exercise add another layer because weight gain, high cholesterol, and elevated blood pressure all make circulation worse, further reducing the chances of waking up with an erection. This is why the decline of morning wood with age isn't simply about getting older. It's the result of a combination of changes, hormonal, vascular, and lifestyle driven. that all add up over time. And while some of these changes are natural, many are within your control. Recognizing the reasons behind the decline is the first step, because once you understand the causes, you can start making choices to turn things around. The disappearance of morning wood with age isn't inevitable. It's a signal that something in your health needs attention. Another major reason morning wood starts to disappear as men age is the presence of underlying medical conditions that interfere with how the body functions. Erections are not just about desire, they are the result of a finely tuned system involving blood vessels, nerves, and hormones. When chronic health problems enter the picture, that system gets disrupted. For example, diabetes is one of the most common culprits. High blood sugar over time damages the small blood vessels and nerves that are crucial for erections. It doesn't happen suddenly. It's a gradual breakdown that slowly reduces sensitivity and weakens circulation. That's why men with poorly managed diabetes often notice that morning erections either become much weaker or stop showing up altogether. Another big factor is high blood pressure. When blood pressure stays elevated for years, it strains the arteries and makes them stiffer. Erections depend on the ability of those arteries to relax and open, but when they lose that flexibility, blood simply doesn't flow as well. The same goes for high cholesterol, which leads to plaque buildup in the vessels. These blockages don't just threaten your heart or brain, they also starve the penis of the oxygen-rich blood it needs during sleep to create those natural nighttime erections. In fact, many doctors say that changes in erectile function can often be an early warning sign of cardiovascular disease that might not yet show symptoms in other parts of the body. Obesity adds another layer of complication. Carrying excess weight doesn't just affect appearance, it creates hormonal imbalances, lowers testosterone, and increases the risk of insulin resistance and heart problems. Each of those factors on its own can affect erections, but combined, they make it much more difficult for the body to produce strong morning wood. Sleep apnea, another condition tied to excess weight, also plays a role by disrupting the deep sleep cycles where nocturnal erections naturally occur. All of these conditions, diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, obesity, and even sleep disorders, are interconnected, and together they form a perfect storm for weakening morning erections. It's important to recognize that when these health problems go untreated, they don't just affect sexual function, they shorten lifespan, decrease energy, and rob men of vitality. The truth is, the loss of morning wood is often one of the earliest red flags that these medical conditions are starting to take a toll. While medical conditions and hormones play a big role, we can't overlook the powerful effect that the mind and lifestyle have on morning wood. Erections are not just a physical process, they're also deeply connected to mental and emotional health. Stress, for example, is one of the biggest hidden disruptors. When your body is constantly under stress, it produces higher levels of cortisol, a hormone that directly interferes with testosterone production. Lower testosterone means fewer strong morning erections, but it doesn't stop there. Stress also activates the body's fight or flight system, keeping blood vessels tight and restricting blood flow, which makes it harder for erections to happen naturally during the night. Anxiety and depression add another layer of difficulty. Mental health challenges can sap energy, lower motivation, and affect the brain's connection to the body. Erections require signals from the brain to trigger the release of chemicals that open up blood vessels. But when the brain is consumed with worry, sadness, or fatigue, those signals are weakened. That's why men dealing with untreated anxiety or depression often report losing morning erections, even if they're otherwise physically healthy. It's not about a lack of masculinity, it's about the chemistry of the brain directly influencing the function of the body. Sleep is another critical factor. Morning wood is most common during REM sleep cycles, the stage of deep rest where the brain is active and the body repairs itself. If sleep is cut short or constantly interrupted, whether by stress, poor habits, or conditions like sleep apnea, those cycles get disrupted and the natural process of nocturnal erections can't happen the way it should. Staying up late scrolling on a phone, consuming caffeine or alcohol before bed, or simply not giving the body enough hours to recover can all take away the opportunity for morning wood to occur. Even lifestyle habits like drinking and smoking weigh heavily on this process. Alcohol in large amounts acts as a depressant to the nervous system, making it harder for erections to form, while smoking damages blood vessels and reduces circulation. Over time, these choices don't just reduce morning erections, they accelerate the decline of overall sexual health. The truth is, psychological and lifestyle triggers are just as powerful as physical ones, and when ignored, they can quietly chip away at something that once felt automatic. The encouraging news is that morning wood can often be restored by making intentional changes in how you live. The body has an incredible ability to recover and adapt when given the right environment. One of the first steps is to focus on diet, because what you eat directly impacts blood flow and hormone balance. Foods rich in antioxidants, healthy fats, and minerals like zinc and magnesium support testosterone production and improve circulation. Think of leafy greens that boost nitric oxide, nuts and seeds that provide essential nutrients, and lean proteins that help maintain muscle mass. Even simple swaps like replacing processed foods with whole foods can create a noticeable difference in energy, mood, and sexual health. Exercise is another powerful tool. Regular strength training helps raise natural testosterone levels, while cardio improves heart health and ensures that blood can flow efficiently through the body. A strong heart and healthy arteries are critical for sustaining erections, and exercise is the single most effective way to keep them functioning well as you age. Even pelvic floor exercises, which many men overlook, can strengthen the muscles responsible for controlling erections, making morning wood more likely to return. Sleep may sound simple, but it's one of the most underestimated factors. Deep sleep is when the body releases the most testosterone and when the brain cycles through REM stages, where nocturnal erections occur. By prioritizing 7 to 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep, you're essentially giving your body the conditions it needs to produce consistent morning erections. Setting a regular bedtime, limiting screen time before sleep, and managing stress can make a huge difference in restoring this natural process. Managing stress itself is just as important as sleep. Chronic stress drains hormones, tightens blood vessels, and interferes with the mind-body connection needed for erections. Activities like meditation, deep breathing, or even a daily walk in nature aren't just relaxing. They reset the nervous system and create balance in the body. Pair that with cutting back on alcohol and quitting smoking, and you remove two of the biggest obstacles standing in the way of strong, natural erections. What's powerful about these lifestyle changes is that they don't just improve morning wood, they enhance your overall vitality, energy, and confidence in every area of life. There's one more part of this conversation that often gets overlooked, and that's knowing when it's time to seek professional help. Many men hesitate because they see changes in morning wood as simply a part of getting older, but the truth is, a sudden or long-lasting loss of morning erections can be a sign of something more serious happening beneath the surface. It's your body's way of waving a red flag. Ignoring it or brushing it off as normal aging can cause you to miss the chance to catch health problems early when they're most treatable. If you've noticed that morning wood has been consistently absent for months, or that erections in general have become difficult to achieve or maintain, it's worth getting a full health evaluation. A doctor can check testosterone levels, blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar, and other markers that give a clearer picture of what's going on. Sometimes the issue is as simple as a hormone imbalance, but other times it's linked to conditions like diabetes or cardiovascular disease. In fact, erectile changes often show up years before symptoms of heart problems do, which makes them one of the body's earliest warning systems. Seeking help doesn't always mean relying on medication, but it does open the door to more options. For some men, lifestyle changes alone may not be enough, especially if hormone levels have dropped significantly. In those cases, Treatments like testosterone replacement therapy, prescription medications that improve blood flow, or even targeted supplements may be recommended. These are not quick fixes. They're tools that, when used alongside healthy habits, can restore function and protect long-term health. It's also important to remember that addressing these issues with a professional can ease a lot of the stress and anxiety that often come with them. Many men carry silent worry when they notice their sexual health changing, but having the right guidance takes away the guesswork and provides a clear path forward. Ignoring the issue keeps you stuck. Taking action helps you reclaim control. So if morning wood has faded and isn't coming back despite your best efforts, that's not the time to stay silent. It's the time to listen to your body and get the answers you need.